chat window. What are you guys doing under there? Are you guys being troublesome? You are. I know you are. You're being bulldog troublemakers. Chat's working. We're going to the business page. Ding dong ding. And we're going to share this video out. Select all, copy, share to a group, post, share to a group, post. Hey Kelly Kemp, how are you? Hey Kelly Talbot, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Just getting on, sharing to a few groups and such. What are you guys doing? How are you? There are two jellies in the house. Two Kellys in the house. There are. It's the Kelly hour. Hey Christina, how are you? Hi Melanie Ann, how are you? I can't remember if I shared there. I'm going to share there again. Claudia will let me know if I've overshared there. Oh, my clothes smell so good. I was out burning leaves, fall leaves, you know, all the like fall, winter leaves have fallen off the oak trees in my backyard, so I decided to make 3 piles and burn them today because just the ground is covered in leaves, right? And acorns and stuff. So I was doing that up until a few minutes ago. It's dark here, and so, but my clothes smell like the smoke, like I smell like I've been in front of a campfire. They smell good though. I like that smell. I smell so butch. Oh, I smell like a woodsman. All woodsy and shit. It's lovely. You smell like, I don't know, you smell like campfire and low self-esteem. You're so sexy. How are you guys? Good, just got done getting my tooth fixed at the dentist. Glad to catch you. I'm glad you caught me too, Christina, but let me ask you, when you say you got your tooth fixed, does that mean you only have one? I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. I got my tooth fixed at the dentist. Just the one. That's all I got in my mouth is just one left, so I have to take it to the dentist. I have no choice. I'm just kidding. Good evening, Lisa. How are you? Hey, Tammy. What? Where's the chunkies? What? Where's the chunkies? Alright, I'm getting aside from myself. How are you all doing? I'm in a goofy mood tonight. I don't know what is going on with me. I think it was because I got some stuff done in the yard that I didn't want to do, but I ended up doing by accident. And I feel happy that I got it done. I still have a whole other side of the yard to do. Hopefully we'll get that done tomorrow. I'm kind of trying to get the house cleaned up a little bit for Paul's visit. Just so like if he wants to go out in the yard or sit out back there, he's not looking at a bunch of dead leaves on the ground. Not that he would care, he's really sweet, he doesn't care about stuff like that, but I want to make it at least presentable for him. I'm probably not going to have a lot of time to do it in the next few days. So, what's going on with you guys? Haha, nope, got them all, just had one cracked, mister. I'm sorry. I was just having fun. It just sounded funny, like when you said I got my tooth fixed at the dentist. It's like just the one, huh? You only got one tooth at this point. All right. What am I doing here? We'll post it there. We'll post it. I'll post it wherever we damn well please. That's what we'll do, damn it. You can't tell me where I can and cannot post. Hey Michaela, how are you? Laura Pastel Donardo, remember what I said about the blue and white plaid today? What did you say about the blue and white plaid today, Melanie Ann? Because I almost didn't wear this shirt today. I had a different one on that was red. I'm in full surround sound in your house. Oh, I feel sorry for you with my nasally voice. My nasally voice. Galactic Federation of Light, let's share it there. They have some funny ass stuff in Galactic Federation of Light. It's this group, and it's a cool group of people. People post really interesting stuff about like new planets being found, just weird stuff, but sometimes some of the comments, there was something that was posted where I wanted to tag Ducky because the comments were so funny. And I can't remember what the subject was about, but it was like, you know, it's a spiritual group, and they're like sort of light workery people, like talking about 5D and all of this stuff. But they were posting some like really jaded, funny comments that I loved. I can't remember what the topic was. What was it about? I can't remember now. Oh, it was funny. I thought about tagging Ducky, but Ducky's not a member of the group, so I didn't want to confuse her. And then I thought about posting it on my page, but then the group I think might be private, so that wouldn't work for you guys to see the comments. The comments were hilarious. Hilarious. And there's the, was it buffalo plaid? What are you guys talking about? Are you guys talking about my shirt plaid, or? Yes, but then I said, I like blue and white plaid, and he is wearing it tonight. Oh, how funny. I see that you guys are having your own conversation in regards to the clothing that I'm wearing. It's funny. This is my shirt that I chose. I almost had red on and I changed it. I have to say something. Is Karen here? Is Karen here? Karen Albano. Is Karen here tonight? Whew, that incense, it smells really good, but it is like hitting me in the face. I think I've had too much smoke in the face today with the burn piles in the yard. And then the incense, I've got this incense burning called Bliss, and it smells really good. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were saying it and I am wearing it. No, I don't know what buffalo plaid is, so I'm not sure. I had a red plaid shirt on and it was just a little bit too tight, so I took it off and changed it for this one. Karen, you are here. Karen sent me a Christmas gift today, or at least I received it today. I don't know when she sent it, but I just want to say I have I got this gift today from Karen, and I just wanted to say thank you. It has, it's one of those water bottles that has crystals in it, and the other one is in the kitchen. But it's got agates in one, and then it's got amethyst in the other, and you can like unscrew the bottom and recharge it and put whichever set of stones you want in the bottom. They're in like a little glass case, and I think that the concept is that it infuses the water with the energy of the crystals, right? I'm gonna try it with Mountain Dew. I'm just kidding. But it's beautiful. I want to say thank you. I've never expected this, and so I have my water bottle, my crystal charged water bottle. I'm gonna use it and see if we have any sort of changes. If I start acting really weird or twitching, blame the water. It's just, or it could be the Mountain Dew, I don't know, but I think it's probably gonna be the water. But thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you, Karen. This was really sweet. It was a like total surprise to find it on my doorstep this morning. And so I just wanted to say, I mean, this was enough for probably the next 5 years. But then you go and you do this, and I'm just like, my little desk is becoming a little crystal center of It's also, the other thing is when you work with spirit, I keep this on my desk, which is a bottle of holy water from the church. It's in a spray it's in a spray bottle, not for the cats, but I spray it up in the corners of the rooms in the house sometimes, especially like if I'll go through in Sage or wherever, I'll go and I'll do the corners of the room sometimes, just as a little added like juju or mojo or whatever you want to call it. But I also keep this on my desk as water, because water conducts sort of energy and electricity and all of that. And when you work with spirit, you want to have water sort of nearby, like in a jar or in a glass. This is a spray bottle, which is kind of not perfect, but I think that spirit doesn't really give a shit. Like, spirit will work with me regardless, whether the water was here or not. But I just kind of leave it here as a water thing. But now that I have this, I'm just using this. I'm going to drink from it, obviously, too. But the one thing I have to say about it is it's kind of got a little bit of weight to it, which is nice, but it's real slippery. Like the glass, it's a glass bottle, which makes me, see, it's already sliding out of my hand. It makes me nervous, like I'm going to break it. I kind of wish it was maybe, I know plastic isn't good for the environment, but it's beautiful. And I want to say, like, look at this. Let's just do it. This will be my first sip from the bottle. And then I want to charge the crystals outside of the moon, but I'll do that later. Crystal infused water, it's delicious. Thank you. I was about to dehydrate, Karen, so it's so good that this made it here, because this will be an actual good excuse for me to drink something other than Mountain Dew. But I can't quit just yet, okay? I'm just going to say that. I also want to say, Jessica Farley, you posted something in the group. I'm going to put it through because I just think it's so wrong and right at the same time. I don't necessarily want things like this in the group, but I think it's hilarious, and I would post this on my personal page if I had come across it first. So I will post it to the Engelgeist group so that you guys can see it and have a laugh. But I was kind of trying to decide, should I post it, should I not post it, is it too raunchy? But I think it's fucking funny, so I am going to let it through. So Jessica Farley, you win for making me laugh today. You guys will see it. If you don't know the costume is from this movie called Princess Mononoke. But you'll have to look for the meme that got put through. Not like the most spiritual of memes, but that's okay. We can have fun too, and it did make me laugh. Hey Nancy, how are you? Why am I drinking so much Mountain Dew? Because I had bought a 12-pack of it, and I have 2 more in my fridge. So I have 1 and another still in the fridge. So sometimes I have one during charm nights, because I'm usually tired by the time it's 7:30. I'm ready to kind of be gearing down. So I have a Mountain Dew because it's kind of like my version of coffee at night. I don't know. It's not the best thing for me. But I do have my water, so I'm going to balance the 2 tonight. And so that's what I'm doing. What are you guys? Refraying, Lisa Vanderhill. I love how Lisa types. She just could get, these are all the fucks she gives when it comes to typing. She's spelled refraying. If Lisa Vanderhelm started typing correctly, I would think somebody possessed her body and she had been kidnapped. That's what I would think. I would think it was aliens. The thing is I understand what she's saying. She's saying refreshing. But she said, refraining. Okay, Kelly says, funny that you go spraying holy water in corners of rooms. First time I've seen my grandma do it, but was storming, and we thought she was crazy, but she told the reasonings for it. I do it just because it's just it's like a little, I'll spray it over my head, too. I have no qualms about that. I'll mist it over me and walk into the mist, just to kind of do a little bit of a cleanse, a purification. Ain't no shame in my game. A little holy water goes a long, long way. So, and I don't necessarily believe that, it's just an added extra sort of, it's sort of like salt at your door. What I do is another thing that I do that you guys should know is, my giant doob. big doobie, right? My sage and so all of this, I don't know if you guys can see this, let me show you. All of this that gets burned out from me smudging out the sage will go on my doorstep. I put it at both the front and the back doorstep. Outside, I grind it into the ground, or just sprinkle it over the ground and then I walk over it, or I'll just sprinkle it right in front of the door so that I walk through it as I'm going, exiting and entering the house. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily keep the floors super clean, but I feel like it brings the sort of the essence of the sage, like not only outside but inside to the house. You know, it kind of just cleans the doorway, just sort of sets the tone for that space that you know, only love can enter, only love can leave, as they say. So I try and that's just something that I do because I also don't want to waste the sage, even though it's burned through, like, or it's ash and soot. I use the soot instead of, say, like a salt protection barrier. So I do get my holy water from the church. This is actually holy water that I brought with me. This was full. I brought it with me from Mexico, so it came from the church in Puerto Vallarta, from the priest there. But I can go to, you know, other churches and get it. But I do get it from the church. I don't necessarily, I go to church sometimes, you guys know that about me, but I'm not the most religious of individuals. But I don't think that it hurts to work on your relationship with your higher power, your God. And me being a gay man, I work on my relationship. A lot of my self-esteem issues are wrapped up in how I was treated as a younger person in society in like the 80s, you know, when being gay wasn't, you know, we were very associated with AIDS and HIV, and it was just crazy. So I think that some of that affects how I view myself and how I hold myself and all of this sort of stuff. So I go to church to work on my relationship with God. Just because I need to have a relationship with my own God of my understanding, kind of thing. So, but it's basically an effort to kind of, how do I want to explain it? Like, it's to sort of get that relationship back, because I feel like I was told my whole early part of my life that I wasn't allowed to have a relationship with God because I was gay, because I was an abomination in God's eyes. At least that's what I was brought up to believe, kind of societally, you know, just not necessarily from my mom or anything like that, but just sort of what we were, as young gay people, were taught that, you know, not so much, I think it's changing, and I think that that's really good, but that's sort of what I grew up with. So as an adult, it's my responsibility to not allow those sort of teachings to further affect my life. Even though things are changing and evolving, we have shows like Will and Grace, and there's a lot more opportunity and understanding, but it's still not there yet completely. But my part in it is that I'm an adult male now. I get the choice to either believe I'm a piece of shit and continue to live that way, or take control of that relationship and try and recreate that relationship in a way that's healthy and beneficial. And so I do that on my own by going to church. Not that I'm so religious per se, but that I do want a relationship with the God of my understanding. So to form that, I want to do that in different venues. Not only in my own personal spiritual life, but also like at home, you know, through meditation and things like that, but also in a more formal religious setting where I was not supposed to be growing up. I go just now because I can. You know, because I want to. So that's just me, though. Hey, John Lapardo, how are you? All right, so let me double check my PayPal. I don't have any reservations for tonight, so I don't know if anybody's interested in getting Charmings done. But if there's not anybody, that's fine too. We can find something else to do. Oh wait, whoops, I don't want that. No. You don't want to hear myself on TV. Oh, this is weird. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I felt like there was something else I was gonna say tonight, and I can't remember what that is now. I can't get over how good I smell. It's that smell of fire, like smoke. I love it. It smells so good in your clothes. Let's see here. So Melanie, charmings are $25. If you want to pay for a charming, you can use this link and get a charming. If not, I don't have any reservations, so I can do cards for people. I would like to do cards for people that are new to me, if possible. Karen, are you at work? Is Karen still with us? Karen! The other day, our mall had a fire. Someone was burning incense and it got ADH on cardboard. Yeah, I don't want that. I've got 3 burn piles going on in the backyard right now, but they were smoldering when I came in here, so I'll check them when I'm done with you guys. Hopefully I don't burn down the neighborhood. Oh, you're at home, okay. Karen, I would be happy to do a couple of cards for you if you would like, because you sent me this lovely Christmas gift. So, or a charming, if you would like a charming in trade for your Christmas present, because I can't really do much for you. I don't have your address, so I can't send you anything, but I could do a charming for you if you'd like. I could do a card reading for you if you'd like. I mean, I can also do a card reading, like, privately if you want. If that's something that you want um, outside of here, it doesn't have to happen tonight. But I would love to give you a Christmas gift too, since you were so kind to send me this water bottle. So let me know. Hey Mary, how are you? Hey, I know what we can do for fun. Well, can I keep it fast though? I could charm. You want to do a charming for you, Karen? Okay. Do you have a subject you want me to charm on? What I was thinking is after we, general is fine. Okay, perfect. What I was thinking is after we do Karen's charming, what we could do is we could do. I think this could be crazy. We could do quick charmings, where what I'm thinking is we ask sort of either yes or no related questions, not such deep charmings where we're like, oh, this means this and this means that, and we're like picking apart each and every charm. I'm gonna do that for Karen because I want to give her a full charm reading. But I would like to do some speed charming tonight. Does that make sense? Like, throw the charms down really quick and see what comes out really fast. Like, we'll ask a specific question, and this will be free to everybody. Um, but we just throw down a few charms and see what we get, and kind of maybe we go with like yes or no, or is he thinking about me, or will I get this job? Kind of things where we can find like a sort of a quick answer. Does that make sense? So we could do that to sort of like so everybody gets an opportunity to get a little bit of a charm. I think. Yeah, Mary, you can be the guinea pig. I'm fine with that. Just what I want, and Melanie, you can go too because you were saying you wanted a charming. But what it is it's not going to be like how I'm going to do Karen's. Like Karen's going to be a little bit more in detail. So, I mean, I will explain to you why I think like something is either positive or negative because of the charms there. But I'm not going to get so deep into like your past, your future, your this or that. Does that make sense? It'll just be kind of like, yeah, kind of like pendulum swings, exactly, Ducky. Or we could do pendulum swings too, but we could just see. It's something I've never done before, and I thought it might be kind of fun where we just sort of speed charm and see. Only for like simple answer stuff though, like not anything super complicated. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna do Karen's charming. I'm gonna switch the cameras around. We'll do Karen's charming, which will be like a normal charming, and then we'll do like if people have their questions ready, I'll just take names, and in that way I might be able to cycle through quite a few of you, and if as long as I'm not getting too deep into the charms. But don't let me get long-winded. I have a tendency to get like sort of gas baggy and like descriptive and shit. All right, so let me do Karen's and then we'll have your questions ready, okay? So like Melanie, Mary, and then whoever else wants to get in on this, just have your have your question ready, and then let me know after I finish Karen's charming. Okay? All right. Or if you guys want like a single card or something, or maybe I'll do 2 cards, whatever. You guys just let me know. So this will be kind of like my Christmas kind of. Granted, I'm definitely wanting to give Karen back a Christmas gift, but like this will be my sort of Christmas gift to those of you that are here. All right. Okay. So for Karen, we're doing a general card. Let me just take a breath. 1 moment. And if you all want to join me in that breath, you can close your eyes. Listen to the bells of my computer. Take an inhale deeply into the belly. Hold, emanate that light, connect to spirit, and release. And just be in gratitude. See those 3 components that we always sort of balance and bring together. See them in appreciation of each other. You can take shortcuts if you need to. You don't have to take all 3 breaths. You can just adjust yourself. Kind of like how men move their junk around. We adjust ourselves all the time in public without people seeing. Okay. Alright. Let's see what we've got going on here for Karen. Hold on. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Where's my chat box? Okay. Alright. Wait, what is Nate saying? 2 or 3 cards and of the birds in the tree come up? I know. Could you be... That's how we can figure out who the hell keeps getting the death card. Okay, alright, so... let me see here. Hold on. Tammy is here. Yes, Mary. Okay, Nate, I see that your hand's up. Alright, so let's look at, I want to look at Karen. Let me give Karen my attention right now, and then I'll come back to the chat in a minute. So we have a P, we have a G, we have a Z, D, and E. Trying not to move stuff around. Is that it? Okay. So I'm going to say right out of the gate, I'm just looking at this. Just give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna say right out of the gate, Karen, like this looks to me about spiritual growth. Like everything that I'm seeing is surrounding like sort of spiritual growth and coming into your own right now. The reason why I say that is we have this strength charm right here in the center, but it's also next to the giant wisdom owl, right? So this to me says that not only are you utilizing your strength right now, you're utilizing your wisdom. Now, I want to kind of unbury some of these charms that are underneath because you've got a lot of stuff going on. The other reason why I say this is about spiritual growth is we have the Merkaba here. We also have the third eye here up in the higher mind in the future. And it is upright, and the Merkaba is that sort of symbol from Jewish mysticism where they would talk about how they utilized it sort of for travel, spiritual travel, astral travel, traveling to different dimensions, that sort of thing. This is the first time since I bought this. This was in the last Charm Haul, actually the only Charm Haul video that I've done. But this is the first time and it's shown up here, and it's a very sort of mystical charm, and it has not come out of the box as of yet. So the fact that it's here, coupled with the strength charm, the wisdom charm, the third eye charm, the healing stone charm here with the this is long distance healing. So to me, this feels like there's a fair, and also you have the barbell, the helmet, the football helmet. So these two signify work and strength, protection, that sort of thing, hard work. You also have the dragonfly, which is very much a symbol of um, spirit. So that is here too. So I just want to look what's underneath the strength charm. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just going to put Ganesh down here just for a moment. So we have the male charm here, or the man charm, and we also have another male that's sort of flipped over and upside down. I don't know if somebody has passed or if there is a significant male passing, but this makes me feel like the possibility of a passing of a male of some sort. I feel like these two men are separate male energies or influences in your life that you might be working through these relationships, or sort of the how do I want to say it, like sort of, if you're not currently in a relationship, well, this person is, if they are indeed past, Karen, what I want to say is that this person, you might be working through some of the um, leftover feelings you have around that relationship. This person may not necessarily be in your life completely right now, but you're still sort of working through any sort of stuff that you maybe have dealt with them, if that makes sense. To me, I feel like these two relationships, in some way, maybe they've been full of burdens or struggles for you, but they have taught you about your strength. They've also taught you a lot of things that help you to acquire uh, the giant owl, which is the big wisdom, basically. Underneath here is the sewing machine, which to me feels like mending, right, or fixing, repairing, that sort of a action. And so I think that this has to do with sort of you maybe healing yourself, possibly around these relationships with these two significant males in your life, one of which, like I said, may not still be here. The hug token also speaks to self-care and self-love, about sort of honoring yourself first and foremost. And then we have this charm underneath here. I just want to see what it is. This is Imagine. And it is face down. I don't think that that's a bad thing per se. I feel like right now, to me, with the strength charm over this, like that, right? And then we had Ganesh like this, which I'm going to just place him back. I kind of feel like Ganesh is protective over all of this. He's like laying over it, and he is upside down, so it might feel like things aren't necessarily going your way right now, or that it's taking a lot of sort of you to be reliant on yourself right now. But you are showing up with this strength charm, you are showing up with this wisdom charm, you are showing up by being sort of, I want to say, good to yourself, or at least attempting to be good to yourself at times. This hug token being upside down says to me, maybe not always are you giving yourself exactly what you need, but you are trying, you are acknowledging areas where you might need a little bit more care or love. And so I feel like you are possibly giving that to yourself, especially with that sewing machine charm underneath there. But the Imagine charm to me feels like the power of that charm is on the board, right? But you haven't really accessed that yet. I feel like Ganesh is also laying himself over this situation in a way to sort of protect you on some level, or guard you right now while you work through this time, right? And through whatever it is that you're sort of working through, because you are working through some, I don't know, like I almost want to say like some preconceived notions or ideas that you've acquired from these relationships with these two potential male energies, right? And I feel like when you're done, you are in a position of strength, you are in a position of wisdom, but when you're done sort of mending yourself and caring for yourself, I feel like Ganesh will flip over, and the sort of the luck and the joy and all of that sort of good energy that Ganesh sort of represents to me will come to you at that time. But right now, I feel like he's sort of almost sitting here watching you do the work, letting you, allowing you to sort of make the strides, allowing you to really own this and make it real for yourself. And so I feel like that's why he's sort of laying over here. This is not a bad. Um, to me, sometimes when it's like upside down and face down like that, it means like you're not able to access it. But I really get a feeling that this is him protecting or looking over you as you do the work. And it's almost like I'm hearing in my mind like that phrase, you know, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself kind of thing. And I think that's what's going on here. Now, we have the two children charm upside down, which this used to be my old symbol for Gemini. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know your history if you have kids, Karen. This could be your children of some sort, or like a disconnection with them. If you have children, I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest. But if you have kids and you're feeling like there's a distance between you and the kids right now, uh, I feel like this will repair itself at some point. This could be grandchildren too, but if you're feeling like sort of disconnected from them or not feeling like you have the connection that you want, I think that that's what all of this work is here that's happening. It's sort of the mending and the work that you're doing here that sort of Ganesh is watching over is allowing you to kind of maybe work. It's almost like you're doing all of this work in an effort to reconnect with them. And as you do that, or as you do this work that's in these charms here, and you begin that reconnection with them, I think it's also going to bring about this sort of the love and the hug token here that we want. You're giving that to yourself by doing this work, but you're also going to receive more of that love from this connection to them. Does that make sense? Um, you do have the sun charm here, which to me is really beautiful and it's very energized. Underneath this is the Eye of Horus, which is also a very spiritual symbol, but it came up the sun side, so it feels like you are energized. And it's next to the dragonfly, which is about spirit, right? So spirit is around this and flying around this, and you have the energy going into the future to sort of get these things accomplished and done. Now down here you have the baseball player. He's upside down and face down. This says to me that you're willing to play the game, but I kind of get the feeling that you're not like ready yet, right? That there needs to be sort of like you're doing the work in the present moment right now, whether you realize it or not. I get a feeling that you might be a little bit tired or feel a little bit beleaguered, but don't give up just yet, because I think that all of this is serving a purpose. And there will be this burst of energy that comes forth that's going to lead to sort of this healing. You're also going to feel empowered with this football helmet and the Merkaba. Like this is about spiritual strength and movement. And I gotta say, all of these are sort of in the future, right? But they are very strong charms. The Merkaba, the key, and the third eye charm. Up in the higher mind, it means that like your intuition is going to be on and popping. You're going to be able to trust it and move forward in that and like unlock doors, right? That's the key there. You have this sort of protection with this helmet, I feel like, and this healing that's taking place as you move forward. This grouping of charms is very strong. So underneath this charm here, let's just see what this is. It says, you can if you think you can, right? And I feel like the reason why this is turned over is right now you're not really 100% sure, and that's because there's so much work going on here. You know your strength, you know your wisdom. and you're working hard at getting them. But I feel like right now you might be feeling like, I feel like this isn't that luck is not on your side, but you might be feeling like it's a little bit of a struggle right now. You might be slogging through some things or working through, like I said, these two relationships, uh, or maybe, like releasing the relationships or the ideas, uh, the views that you've gotten from about yourself from these relationships. It's really about sort of knowing yourself better and from your own perception versus maybe theirs. Down here is the everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And this is, I love this charm because it kind of just is determination personified. It's down in your subconscious mind. So it says to me that you're kind of in this to win this. You're going to carry this sort of energy forward with you into this awareness forward with you into the future, and you're willing to do the hard work on a deep level. That's the barbell, the dumbbell. It's like this represents like lifting weights or exercising our muscles, or this being in the subconscious, it would be like exercising yourself, getting yourself mentally prepared, getting yourself emotionally prepared, getting yourself doing the work, putting in the not the struggle per se, because I don't want to feel like there has to be a struggle, but I feel like you're going to like sort of strengthen yourself going into the future. That's coupled here with the healing charm, the protection charm, and all of these beautiful charms up here. When you get to this point, I feel like this will very easily flip over, and you can if you think you can. And right now, I think that you might just need a little bit of a feeling like the tide's turning a little bit in your favor. But actually, to me, when I look at these charms, it really feels like things are in your favor. It's just sort of you don't necessarily know that, or you might be having trouble seeing it. And part of the reason is because you might be working through some of the sadness around these two relationships, and also whatever disconnect happened here with these children or grandchildren. But as you rebuild those connections, not only the connections to these children, but the connection to yourself that's happening in all of this, um, you will become even stronger and more wise. You will become more energized. You will start to believe that you can. And you will start to heal. I mean, I think that you're already in that healing. But this feels like a much more like going into these future charms, it feels very intentional to me. It feels very uh, uh, like with the dumbbell, with the football helmet. It feels very much like you're almost training for it, right? Like you're setting the goal, you're going after it. Then we also have underneath here is the Aquarius charm, or was my old symbol for Aquarius. It's face down. I don't know if that matters per se. I think you are an Aquarius, aren't you, Karen? Your two youngest and you don't have a relationship? Okay, I'm now just seeing right off the back, spot on, and my light just flickered. Bill, my husband that passed 5 years ago, and my father, Bill, that died when I was 14. Okay, so that's these two relationships here. And I think that I want to tell you this, Karen, whatever you are doing work, even if it feels like you're struggling right now. That's this Ganesh sort of being upside down and face down, but I really think that you are being watched over with this charm in this position. I think that maybe the um, there's an adjustment that's happening here. There's really sort of an awareness or a shift of your awareness and seeing yourself in a different light that's taking place or about to take place if it hasn't already, right? Maybe us talking about it here is like the opportunity where we start to look at ourselves in different terms, and we start to realize that we do have strength, we do have immense wisdom, we can mend this, we can mend ourselves, we can love ourselves and care for ourselves, give ourselves sort of the hug that we need or the self-care that we need so that we can continue to mend and move forward. And as you move forward, like I said, there's some really beautiful stuff that's about to happen. There's some healing that's coming your way. There's a spiritual sort of, to me this represents like spiritual travel, this Merkaba, right? But it's also could be like sort of travel can be a form of like spiritual growth or spiritual expansion, right? So understanding yourself at a deeper level, honoring yourself at a deeper level, all of these things would be forms of spiritual expansion that would help you to sort of grow and also open up doors that maybe, or emotions, ideas, things that were locked off to you, or maybe that you didn't feel you had access to. You're going to have access to them. And then this intuition charm up here is the clear stone, which represents the sixth chakra, which is your third eye. This is all about having clarity, and it being up in the higher mind area in the future says to me it's like you couldn't have a more perfect placed third eye charm. You want it up in the higher mind because that's where the third eye is located, sort of, and where it's connected to your intuition. So to me, it feels like you're going to be able to utilize your intuition moving forward, and you're going to be strong. And this being down in your subconscious says to me that you're really going to have a firm understanding that everything is okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. So it's sort of like, to me, things that maybe used to ruffle your feathers are not going to be able to ruffle your feathers. This is, you'll be stronger. Does that make sense? It's not your fault, Karen. Karen says, this is completely 100%. I think all those repeat cards we got is my fault, LOL. It's not your fault. We're all doing our own shit, honey. Don't even worry. We're all working through our stuff. You are Aquarius. I thought you were Aquarius. I thought so. And I feel like this is face down for, the reason why is I feel like maybe right now you don't necessarily feel like you have your mojo about you, but you're getting it back. And you actually, I have to say this, you do have it about you. These are extremely strong, beautiful charms, right? Even the hug token, the sewing machine, these are about mending yourself, taking care of yourself, really making the effort to do right by you and honor those things. But I think that there's a couple of things where there's some losses here that you still sort of suffer from, and that's okay. That's okay to, to feel the pain of those sort of losses. Maybe the loss of the two children, the loss of both of these men, and those relationships, and whatever went on in those relationships. Those sort of things, I feel like you are working through them right now. Sorry, I just put it out of focus. You are working through them right now. Allow yourself that time and honor yourself as you do that. I don't think you're the sole reason why those cards came up at all. I think maybe you might be one of the reasons. I think there's a lot of us in the same place. I talk to Ducky very regularly. I understand, I know stuff about Ducky's situation. I know stuff about my own situation. I think we collectively, those cards are for all of us, right? So the question is just, are we listening to those cards? And some of us might be, and some of us might take a little bit longer to hear, and that's fine, So I think you're in a really good place, even though you may not feel that fully just yet. But I think that with these charms in the future, these all look to me like you are going to get that stable understanding of your own self-worth and your own strength and your own wisdom. You just need to give it a little bit more time and acknowledge those things. The more that you acknowledge those things and the more that you sort of live from that place, the stronger you're going to be. And the sun here is beautiful. It's definitely speaking to me that there will be a moment coming in the future that you're going to feel more energy, you're going to feel more empowered, you're going to be more connected to spirit. I think at that point, when you connect to the sun and the spirit, this dragonfly, I think that's when this Aquarius charm flips over, and we feel like our mojo is back, right? And we have our flow again, right? We're able to give of ourselves in the way that we want to. Right now, I think that the focus is kind of on you and yourself and the healing of yourself, but that's where it should be, and that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's hard to be focused on ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to sit with ourselves and say, okay, where do I need to change? What do I need to let go of, And so, and then can I let go of it, right? Can I not do that? And I think you can. I don't even think this is about letting go. I actually think this is about acknowledging what you have and then building upon that. Maybe I think you are being too hard on yourself. Allow yourself to acknowledge your strength and your wisdom for sure. Acknowledge the fact that you're mending yourself. Acknowledge the fact that you've done the best that you can, and you're continuing to do the best that you can, and you're going to do better as you do that, right? I definitely see that with all of these charms in the future. I don't know what pegs means, but I don't know. I think these are really good charms. Nate says over on Facebook, P stands for peaceful, E stands for energized, G stands for grace, Z stands for zen, D stands for divine. Did you want to take a screenshot of this, Karen? And Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for my water bottle. It's beautiful. And it probably is going to get me to drink more water, which will be better for me. I wasn't kidding about the dehydration comment. I probably was running on dehydrated energy. I drink too much coffee in the morning and then probably not enough water. Oh, Lisa just spelled, your sixth was awesome. YRSXIT was awesome. I love how Lisa spells. I swear to God she drinks at night. Oh, too funny, too funny. It's the espresso. Karen, did you need to take a screenshot of this, or is it okay to clear the board? Awesome. You're welcome. Thank you so much, too. Okay, so we had. Is Melanie still here? Melanie Ann? And Nate and Mary. So we'll do Melanie Ann, Mary, and then Nate. We don't have, it doesn't look like we have very many viewers. There's only about 9 of you in here, I think, if my numbers are correct. So if you guys are still here, okay, Melanie, what question did you want for a quick charming? Just ask the question, and then I will throw charms for it. Mary, you'll be up next after Melanie, so have your question ready for a quick charming, and Nate, you'll be after Mary. We'll just see how this works. This is, let me say, this is totally just a test run, so I don't know how well this is going to work. We're just going to try it and see what happens. But I can't get gas baggy and long-winded. That's the thing. Because then it becomes like real charmings where I get like kind of wiped out. Oh, you didn't see that yawn. Are you on the right path? Okay, Melanie in. Am I on the right path? Okay, I'm going to say yes. And this is the reason why. I'm going to just explain very quickly why. You have the energy of the sun here, which is always beneficial. You have the microphone here, which is very good. Like, use it to communicate. And also the lizard, which is dreaming, which is upright and face upright. And we also have Mary here. So this is, to me, is the divine feminine. You need to trust yourself more, is what I'm hearing as I'm looking at this Mary. I feel like this Mary is you, sort of your divine feminine going into the future. You need to trust that. Trust your own knowledge. You also have the guardian angel charm, which to me speaks to beneficial stuff. This charm here is is face down. It says believe in your dreams. This is the reason why I feel the reason why it's face down is because you don't necessarily believe you're doing the right thing, or you don't really know that very clearly. You need to get into knowing that and own that. You also have the rooster here, which is always symbolizing good luck, and underneath the rooster is hooked to the small owl, which is the little knowledge or the little wisdom, right? So luck and wisdom were kind of locked together. It's interesting. It was hooked on the rooster's foot. So to me, this speaks to the idea that you have the wisdom. You maybe don't necessarily know that you have it. Maybe that's why it's the smaller owl, or it's underneath the good luck. Like, you don't know that you have like luck on your side, I want to say. You also have the Eiffel Tower. This could be symbolic of travel or love. But to me, I feel like all of these are really beneficial charms. This is the Aquarius symbol again. This was face up and like sort of laying on all of that. That's a really interesting configuration of charms there. I don't want to get too deep into this charming. And then we have this, the fish bones, which to me, what is that saying? I think you've sort of lived with doubt or not enough for long enough. It's time for that to let go of that. Right? This to me feels like something that we've been doing for far too long, and it's time to become aware of it, let it go, and move forward in belief in ourselves, right? And that's this sort of Mary. It's like, stop giving yourself sort of scraps. Start believing in your dreams and communicating that and dreaming that and moving forward in that. Let luck be your guide. Let your guardian angels take you there. Let yourself be energized and do it. Okay? So that's your reading. And pi is like a mathematical equation. So I'm not sure if that applies to anything, but that would be the only thing, unless it's IP. But I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna, do you want to take a screenshot of this really quick? And then Mary, once she takes a screenshot, I'll do yours. And then Nate, you'll be after Mary. All right, you got the screenshot? Okay, I'm gonna clear the board. Mary, what's your question, dear? Thank you. You're welcome, Melanie. Merry Christmas. Is Mary still here? Is Florida the right place for you? Okay. Mary, I'm not 100% sure on this one. It's interesting to me because let me see. Who is this? You have a guardian angel, but it's like you're not listening to him, is what I want to say, or you're not. I can't tell. Who is this? Which guardian angel is this? This is. Is it Jophiel? I think this is Jophiel. I'm not sure. But you do have a guardian angel here, which that to me would be beneficial, but he's face down. I don't think it's about this. This is what I want to say, is I don't think that this is about whether or not Florida is right or wrong for you, because this makes me think that it is. Oh, sorry, it's totally out of focus. Let me see here. Come on, camera. Hold on, let me just adjust the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to switch cameras, guys. Okay. Alright, that should work. Alright, so. Yeah, I know. I just noticed it was out of focus. Thank you, Ducky. I didn't see that. So, this is the thing. I feel like the minute I flip like through these charms out, this to me, the shell felt like it was like beachy and like that it was a positive, right? But then when I'm looking at the crown here over the upside down lizard, again we have this idea of dreams. And I feel like we have a lot riding on this trip to Florida, or the possibility of what Florida might be for us. But I think that that pressure that you're putting on the idea of Florida might be not almost making it too much. Like when I look at these charms, I feel like I want to say this to you, and I'm just going to spit this out there and you tell me if this sort of makes sense. But when I look at these charms, I feel like it's not really about whether or not Florida is right or wrong. The question is, are you ready for Florida? The question is, are you going to go to Florida in the mindset where Florida is right and ready for you, right? And that's the thing that I think is key here. I don't think Florida, it's not the place that's wrong per se. It's like sort of like, where are you at in your world? This says to me that you could have Florida, the seashell, the word dare, the angel. This is the number 4, and 4 is the year that we're entering into of 2020, right? 4 is always a symbol of stability. The 4 is upside down though. So to me, it sort of feels like we have the element of stability in Florida for us, but are we going there really knowing that? Right now, this upside down 4 says to me, no, we don't really know that just yet, right? And so, to me, this feels like, and also this crown resting on this dream kind of feels like there's pressure being put there. That I think that, and that's also why this angel feels like it's sort of upside down. This is like maybe we can't hear our spirit guides or our own sort of internal knowledge, um, our own intuition right now, or our own spirit even, or our guardian angels, because we're so sort of, we've got a lot riding on this. That's the crown sort of riding on this lizard. And so to me it doesn't necessarily, the shell speaks to me about the idea of, it is the little listen, like we need to listen closely, right? We need to listen and connect to our spirit guides or our own internal knowledge. And when you find that knowledge within yourself, you'll be able to make it's, see, I don't think it's about whether or not Florida is right or wrong. I think it's about whether or not you're able to go to Florida in the mindset that you can make Florida right. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not about Florida, it's about you. Anywhere you go, depending on where you're at, if you're not stable, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter if it's Florida versus New York versus Portland versus anywhere, right? If this 4 doesn't get uprighted, and if we don't like believe in ourselves and like sort of listen to our own intuition and know that we can make this work, then there's a high probability that we might get there and feel stressed out, worried, that we've got a lot like, oh, what did I do? What am I doing here? I think you can make Florida work. That's my impression when I'm looking at these things, but I think you need to be consciously aware of that if you decide to go, that you're going with that mindset, very firmly set in place and very stabilized and ready to go. Like, start asking your own self, your own intuition, your own guides, what do I do? Or just sit still and say, okay, if I'm to go to Florida, don't sit there in doubt and go like, am I supposed to go to Florida? Say to yourself, soul, in meditation or in a space of quiet, in reflection, if I'm to go to Florida, make that very clear to me, please. And then wait for those signs to come. Do you see what I'm saying? But the thing is going into it with this idea of, is there a right, is there a wrong, is already sort of setting yourself up for the possibility of failure. And that's putting this crown riding on these dreams that maybe, if you're not careful, you could freak yourself out and put too much pressure on the situation. I think you can make Florida work. I think you need to realize that you can make Florida work. You can make anything work, Mary. That's the key here, is knowing that and being like settled in that idea. Did you need to take a screenshot, Mary? I think it can be. I think you just need to not doubt yourself. And don't go into it freaked out. You're welcome, Mary. So, Nate, are you here? Do you have your question? Who wants to go after Nate? Can I get a show of hands? I'll do like 2 or 3 more after Nate, and then that's it. We'll wrap up for the night. So I just need like 2 or 3 more names. If anybody else has like a simple question that we can do a quick charming on. Okay, Lisa. So Lisa's got one. Ducky. All right, one for Ducky. And then who else? One more. Where's my chunky? Tammy. Put your hand up. Laura. Okay, Laura Purcell. Is Tammy here still? Is Tammy still here? Where's Tammers? All right, so we're gonna do Nate next, Lisa, Ducky, Laura, and then if Tammy's still here, I want to do one for Tammy because she always supports me and buys Charmings. Tammy Sylvester. All right, so if Tammy Terrasso, let's wait and see. Lisa, I can't do your son because that's a third party, so you're gonna have to come up with a question that pertains to you. Nate, I'm gonna do your general charming right now. What is Nate need to know? All right, you have an H, you have an E, you have an L, you have a G, and a G. I have to say this, Nate. I feel like this is about relationships. I know, and I think it's partly this broken heart up here, but also we have this one die here, and the Eiffel Tower, which is about love. So, and then we have the trust here right next to the moon, which is intuition. So to me, this feels like this is about like sort of your home and your love life. I think that the minute I like looked at these charms, it felt like you might have to. I'm not sure if you're single now. I kind of feel like you might be. And if you are, you might have to stay single for a little while. Um, I feel like there's a desire here for love, and there's definitely a focus on love. You also have Jesus in the midst of all of this, which to me, yes, that could represent as a man in there, but I sort of feel like that's more like the grace of God, or like sort of even like a benevolence and a love. He's right next to the house cat charm, which to me feels about domestication and the home. So I feel really warm vibes from these charms. Like I feel there's a very much like you're emitting this love vibration or this idea or this desire for love, but I don't necessarily know that it's coming just yet because of this. Not that this is a heartbreak, but this feels to me like it's just on pause or on hold, especially with this one here too. It makes me feel like you need to be, like you might be single right now, but it is red. It's the red dye, which speaks to love also, right? That idea of Valentine's. Maybe this could represent as looking for the one or being desirous of the one. But I feel like there's this trust in the intuition charm say to me, you have to sort of like wait this one out. That's wait, what is she saying? Paul from the other side. This just to me feels like you have to sort of trust and also trust your own intuition. There's also a little angel attached to this. Actually, it's funny. The trust charm is hooked onto the angel. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the little angel that's in here is hooked through the hole on the trust charm. So it came out on the angel, like hooked onto the angel. So it feels to me like the angel's telling you to trust and trust your own intuition too. But to me, I feel like this is about like just trust us, don't worry. It's going to take a little bit of time. If you're feeling, I don't feel like there's any frustration here in these charms. I feel like there's positivity and hope and the desire for that. But I feel like it's stuff's on pause. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, this could be like like help and they just forgot the P. I'm not sure. But I just sort of think like, and also you have Ganesh here, and he's kind of in the future. He's definitely in the future, but I feel like it's like he hasn't gotten there yet. You haven't. Um, you need to like sort of wait it out a little while longer, and as you wait it out, if you trust your intuition and you trust yourself and you sort of take care of yourself and sort of love yourself and your own connection sort of to self and build that, benefits could come in the future, but it's undetermined as of yet because there's this sort of pause that is happening right now. You are content being single, good, and that maybe that's this singular die, but I feel like there is a desire, but like to me, this Jesus next to the cat and everything feels like home and things like that are important to you, and sort of having them settled and nice, and like you don't want to just let anybody in, and I don't feel like you do with these charms, but there is this thing of like quality versus quantity per se, and so what you want is something that's very real and lasting, and I think that that's possible that you can have that if you sort of just trust and kind of wait for the right thing to come. You're welcome, Nate. Do you need to take a screenshot of this? Awesome. All right, so Lisa, did you come up with your question? You're welcome, Nate. So general family. I feel like this. I'm gonna. Oh wait, you guys can't see it. It's blurry. 1 second. Let me fix the damn camera. 1 moment. Whoops, that's the wrong camera. Hold on 1 second. Come on. I'm gonna say this. I feel like you are not being honored right now, and you're aware of that. Like, there's worry that I see in this mother. I like that the Mary mother is right in the center of this. It feels like, you taking on the mother role. I know you asked a question about your son, so that would obviously tie into that sort of concern that's going on maybe for your son. There, you have the barbell, which says to me that there's some hard work, but there's the crown here, which is upside down and face down above her, feels like to me you're not being honored on some level, either maybe by yourself or by those in the family. Like people aren't acknowledging sort of how much care or love that you're trying to give them. That's also this sacred heart that's sort of flipped over in the future. Is like sort of like, to me it feels like people aren't necessarily giving you back what you deserve, or the love that you deserve. You also have the number 3, so I don't know if there's 3 people involved in this situation, or there's 3 people that might come together, but I feel like this heart being turned face down, like I feel like you're willing to put in the work and do the training, so to speak, or the put in the effort, but I feel like I get this feeling that they're not, or that they're not giving you back what you're giving to them. Does that make sense? That's part of this crown being upside down. I feel like they're not acknowledging you, or they're not honoring you on some level. And also this Sacred Heart being turned over, it just sort of feels to me like somebody's withholding, or and it's not you, because this is, to me, is you. And she feels sort of like, when I'm looking at her face, actually, like, I don't necessarily see this charm as being sad, but when I look at this charm, there's a sadness to it that I'm noticing right now, that sort of feels um, like you're not. I don't know, like you're not being acknowledged in the way that that, not that you want. It's not about that. It's about, um, like they're not meeting you. And then it's funny because you have the letter I, which is like I, me, myself, alone. Um, and that sort of ties into these two charms that sort of feel like they're sort of shut off. This is more about somebody, like I feel like this is somebody negating you, or uh, like they're not honoring you in some way. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just sort of like they're not acknowledging you, or what you do for them, your worry for them. And this is hard work. This is sort of maybe like a little bit stressful for you. Um, I do feel like there's a strength in this Mary that is good and beneficial. I just feel like there's other people. How do I want to say this? I'm not sure if the other people involved in this situation are going to come to the table, so to speak, right away. Um, so my feeling is as I look at these charms, I don't necessarily know. I feel like you will maybe do the right things as you can with what you're given, but they may not sort of give you a whole lot to work with. Or they might get a little bit distant or pull back. Oh, you are very detached? Okay, so that's part of this. And I think that the Mary has strength. I think that she has beauty. I think that, like, there's capability within her. She's trying to love them. She's upright. She's standing in the center of she's here. She's present as best she can be. So I think that that's all great and good on your end, and what you're trying to do, you are trying to do. But I feel like the crown, to me, feels like their perceptions of you is not necessarily that they're bad. They're just not acknowledging you. They're not sort of as receptive to you as you would like them to be, or as would make you sort of happy in a way. Um, I sort of feel like that between that and the Sacred Heart, they sort of feel a little bit shut off right now. Will that change? I don't know. Like right now, I feel like this is sort of the situation at hand. You're welcome. Do you need to take a screenshot, Lisa? Okay, you got it? All right, Ducky, what's your question? I got Ducky, then Laura, then Tammy, and then the other Tammy possibly. General? Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have the charm beautiful here. We have trust. We have the symbol for Pisces, which is intuitive. I feel like this is your mom. You have the dolphin, which is communication and intelligence. This says act as if you have already become the person you want to be. And this is, what angel is this? God, I cannot read these. This is Gabriel, I think. Archangel Gabriel, which is like the archangel of like sort of communication. You also have the dolphin, which is communication. I think that there's some stuff that you need to communicate. It's interesting to me that you have the heart with the knife in it, the milagro of like sort of like the betrayal heart, and you also have this broken heart here. You have the Celtic acorn knot, which to me feels like sort of there is, and then you have the like the sexy woo woo couple here, and all of these are sort of in your future. So to me, this is sort of like planting the seeds, and the trust and the beautiful were sort of flipped over. Um, to me, I feel like, how do I want to say this? Like there's some things that you need to sort of communicate, definitely with Gabriel here and the dolphin here, and this heart with the knife in it. There's some things I feel like you need to communicate that you don't necessarily. And I know that like you and I talk all the time, so I know a little bit about your personal life, Ducky, but I'm going to just say this. I feel like this could be a bunch of different situations for you. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be one specific situation. I feel like there's maybe like different people that like you don't always say the full thing because it's just maybe easier for you not to, or and I think that some of it is about your communication and trusting that. And I think that this being flipped over is maybe like you don't necessarily trust how other people might receive your communication or how other people might take on board whatever it is that you have to say to them. So you might just refrain, right? I like that you have Lord Vishnu, but he's standing upright, like on the board. Like he's not this way, but he's standing straight up. He's a very sort of beneficial, like wonderful god. And you have the intuition charm here, which is also the symbol for Pisces. I don't want to put myself in your reading, but you and I both know that I'm a Pisces. But I think this might have to do with your own intuition and your like. I love that your mom. This feels like your mom to me. Like it's your connection to your mom and maybe talking to her. This feels like this could be possibly the missing of her. This half heart here is like maybe the loss or the things that the suffering that's around you, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be your broken heart. It can be the broken heart of others. You also have this sort of heart with the knife through it, which is like sort of like not necessarily that you've been betrayed, or but maybe there's been other people around you that feel as though they've been betrayed or they've been hurt. But it feels like a lot of maybe you kind of not always sharing maybe how you feel or for fear of upsetting other people or them maybe not hearing you, or maybe you're fearing that you might hurt them. Like to me, when I look at these charms, it feels like you're giving more support out than you might be getting back. And if you need that support, trusting that you can ask for it is key, right? And I think that's why the trust is face down, is that I think that maybe you don't sort of feel like you can ask for it, or if you ask for it, you may not get it in the way that like like that you need, so you just don't ask. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Now, when I look at these three charms here, which are very much in the future time space, this feels like a bonded love. So I'm not sure who that would be. I mean, that might be with your husband. This might be a rekindling or a new appreciation, like for that relationship. You have the crystal, the clear quartz crystal, which to me feels like clarity, right? And then you have this Celtic acorn charm, which to me it's like the Celtic knot, but the acorn is like the oak tree, and to me this is about like planting seeds that turn into like strong, fruitful opportunities later, right? So when I look at this, it feels like you're going to be able to sort of communicate what you need at some point, or at least create that with what you need by planting those seeds. This act as if you have already become the person you want to be is sort of what you've been doing. Um, but I think that there's this part of you that needs to sort of, um, I don't know if it's rely on others because I don't, like this trust keeps pulling my attention. Like it makes me, it was turned over, like it was face down. I feel like I feel like you are good, right? Like uh, you know what you're capable of and what you can do, but I don't think that you know what you can expect of those around you always. Like I don't. I get the feeling that quite possibly you don't necessarily feel as though. Um, and I don't know that you feel as though you can communicate that to people for fear of, you know, them um, taking it the wrong way or getting upset. Could the trust be the situation I have? What do you mean, Ducky? I'm not sure the situation you have. I feel like the trust to me doesn't feel like it's almost like it feels like you don't necessarily know that you can trust those around you to to maybe communicate. Like I think that like it's funny like this mom charm here or this charm that represents your mom. I feel like you probably communicate more of your honest truth with her in spirit than you do with those around you that are closest to you. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that you don't necessarily trust that the people around you will fully understand or be able to sort of show up for you in the way that you have shown up for them. And I don't necessarily know that you can communicate that. This says to me that you are highly intelligent and that there's like sort of this other communication going on. You know, to me, dolphins click like they communicate through sonar, right? So to me, that's also like telepathy and that sort of a thing. So this also has like a psychic aspect to it, which we also have the intuitive thing over here with the Pisces symbol, right? So your intuition is on and popping. You know, your heart might be a little bit hurt from different experiences throughout your life, as is everybody's, right? But instead of like necessarily operating from that place, I think that you operate from this place of acting as if, you know, you are the person that you want to be, which I think is great, right? And I think that's wonderful. But I think that there's this part of you that doesn't necessarily feel as though you can rely on anybody around you as much as they rely upon you. Does that make sense? What's Stan? I'm not remembering Stan, Ducky. I'm not remembering Stan. Take a screenshot of this and you can send it to me and we can talk about this later. Because I'm drawing a total blank on who Stan is right now. And I don't know why, because that's not your brother. Is Stan your brother? No. Is it your brother? Oh, no, I don't think it has to do with that. I think you're focused on that, Ducky, because you're freaked out by that. But I think that this has something to do with other stuff. Does that make sense? Like, I think that that is something that's going on for you right now immediately that is, urgent. But I think that this is about something that's been going on before that came about. I forgot his name was Stan. I don't even think you told me his name, I don't think. Or I didn't hear it. Alright. And we'll talk about it tonight. I'll call you after. I'll explain to you. Like, if you send me a picture of the screenshot, I can explain to you more sort of what I feel like is going on. Alright, so... Hold on 1 second here. Your mom doesn't want to go back in the box. Okay, Ducky. And then it was Laura, Purcell, Bernardo, and then Tammy, right? Who was before Nate? I can't remember. We had Karen, and then who, and then Nate. Oh my god, I'm like totally... Alright, I'll do a Laura. I see a general for Laura. And then Tammy said that's going to be next. Mary's making a big show. Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Laura, I feel like this has got to do with your relationship. I feel like this is something... Just give me a yes or no, Laura. Are you in a relationship currently? Just give me a yes or no if you are or aren't. I don't want to know any specifics. Just a yes or no. Because I feel like you might be in a relationship, and I feel like this could be about that. So can you tell me if you are in a relationship or not currently? Because if you are, then I'm going to go about this reading the way I see it. But if you're not, then it wouldn't make any sense. You are. Okay, great. That's what I needed to know. I feel like there's this big question mark here. This is this if it's okay in the end, if it's not okay, it's not the end kind of thing that's happening in the future, right? We're unclear here. That's why it's face down and it's not showing itself yet because we don't know. We have the couple, the embracing couple, which represents the lovers to me, the lovers card, and then we have all of this funny energy on it. We have the Cancer and the Scorpio energy, which to me is very watery and very emotional, right? This also are two sort of like pinching animals, right? When I think about the scorpion stinging and the Cancer, the crab has the claws. Underneath it, we have the turtle, which is sort of Mother Earth. She carries her home on her back. She's actually connected as I lift up the crab. But she's flipped over and kind of vulnerable. Again, another water creature, another sort of emotional thing. And to me, when I pick this up, it feels like there's a struggle happening here. right? It feels like they're fighting almost, like the crab has it in its grip and it won't let it go, sort of thing. Um, so to me, that's sort of where I get this sort of emotional charge, like everybody's sort of scrambling around this relationship and fighting. We have Mother Mary here in the center, which I also see as you trying to maybe remain calm, trying to remain centered, but I feel like she's sort of tilted to the side. Like maybe you're not necessarily fully centered all of the time in this relationship. It might feel like sometimes I get this feeling that the rug's being pulled out from under her a little bit at times. You have the first chakra stone here, which is about grounding to me. I believe that's first chakra. Let me just double check that. Just want to make sure. Because if it's second chakra, that would also be about relationships too. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the first chakra, and that's what I thought. So to me, it feels like I get this feeling, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I kind of feel like it feels to me like there's a little bit of unsureness right now in your relationship. It feels to me like you can't necessarily ground in your relationship or ground in the authority. Like I feel like you have a clear knowing of yourself with this Mary here. Like it feels to me like she's face up. She's I would feel better if she was straight on, right? Like she was in the previous reading. But to me, it feels like the other thing that feels like you're off your game is down here we have the rose, which is also a very strong, spiritual, beautiful symbol, but it's upside down. It is face upright, which is good, but it's upside down, and it says to me, like in your subconscious, I don't necessarily know that you're allowed to sort of trust yourself or trust your own like sort of beauty or be vulnerable right now in this relationship. Like it feels sort of like questionable right now, and this sort of poses that question too of if it's not okay, it's not the what does it say? What is this damn thing they say? Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Which says to me that like you're unclear about whether or not everything is okay. Does that make sense? And so, um, why are you saying no freaking way, Nate? I don't understand what you guys are doing. Anyways, so I'm gonna get back to Laura. So to me, it feels like you're not necessarily able to. Like I feel like you're able to access your own knowledge, your own sort of feminine strength in this Mary, but the fact that she's tilted makes me think that sometimes this relationship may make you question what you know to be true. And at a subconscious level, you might be doubting. Also, roses are very much a symbol that's very synonymous with Mary, too. I have to say that it's about like her strength and her beauty and her fragility, and it's a spiritual symbol and all of those sort of things. So over here, it feels like I think that this is slowly chipping away. This relationship might be slowly chipping away at some of your subconscious awareness or belief in yourself. Does that make sense? And I want to call that to your attention so that you can like what I feel like this charming is trying to say to you is that you need to ground in what you know to be true, like kind of start to use this grounding, bring this here and bring her like this, and she stands with all of this going crazy around her head. But I feel like all of this stuff will start to fall away as you. Sorry, I made it go out of focus. I'm moving my hand around. As you sort of get centered in who you are, and don't um, give away your power. Don't give away. I'm not saying that you're giving away your power per se, but I feel like you might be starting to doubt things or maybe doubt yourself as you're in this relationship. Oh, so okay, I didn't know. I see. So this is how we sort of. I mean, ideally, we want like this stuff gone. The lovers could stay. This could be flipped over, and this could be upright. But I think that right now, it's just sort of there's a little bit of self doubt or confusion going on that you kind of need to sort through and ground yourself right now so that you can access your power and make decisions from that place of being centered and grounded. And then those decisions, from those decisions, answers will come. Thank you, Nate. Does that make sense, Laura? I hope that makes sense. Who was before Nate? Does anybody remember? I cannot remember who I read before Nate. I read Karen and then somebody else and then Nate. Does anybody remember? Oh my god, it's like I'm brain dead. Oh, it was Melanie. Thank you. It's like I'm brain dead. Okay, so do you need a screenshot of this? Gabrielisa? Who's Gabrielisa, Michaela? Gabrielisa. So, do you need a screenshot of this, Laura? Did you get it? And then I'm gonna do Tammy Sylvester and Tammy Chirasso. Is Tammy Chirasso still here? I'll do one for Tammy Chirasso and then that'll be it. Alright, you got it. Awesome. So Tammy Sylvester, your question is about this dude. Is that what we want? I saw you asked earlier about, is this man right for me? So that would be a yes or no question. Let me just try and center this charm box a little bit. Tammy Chirasso is here, Ducky. All right, tell her to get her question ready. She'll go after Tammy Sylvester. It's a tale of two Tammys. I'm so stupid. All right, okay, so is this man right for Tammy Sylvester? Okay, let's see what we got here. We have the S. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna say this, Tammy. I think that I can't tell, to be honest. I'm gonna tell you where I want to go with this. What really draws my attention with these charms is we have this baseball player right here over the half broken heart, right? And to me, this feels like. And also, you have one of my favorite charms, which is the Matador jacket, but the Matador jacket is face down, but it's very close to this. To me, it feels like, are you brave enough to be in this relationship? And I think that this is similar to Mary's charming in the sense where it's not about Florida, it's about Mary's state of mind when she goes. And so it's like, to me, I think you said the guy's name is Dawn, and I don't want this reading to become about Dawn, but we're reading like, is he right for you kind of thing? Is it a yes or no sort of question? We're not necessarily reading him. I'm reading your energy around him, right? And so when I'm looking at these things, I feel like these three charms here say to me, is she brave enough to do this? Is she brave enough to get in the game and play? And the catcher says to me, you're playing the game, right? You're willing to try. But the fact that he's laying on this heart says to me that there is some worry on your part as to whether or not you can actually do this. The other thing is, like, this catcher's got all of this sort of gear on with the catcher's mitt and shit. Like, to me, it feels like you're trying to play the game, but you're also trying to protect yourself, right? We have the teapot standing completely upright, which is sort of funny to me. And that to me is about like your home and domestic stuff, that being important to you. And kind of like it's standing up this way in this direction feels to me like it's a non-negotiable to you. Like, this is really important. Like, it feels like I almost want to say, like, do not touch this shit. Like, so I think you want to let him in, and the hug token to me feels like positive too. The heart in it, and that there's love and companionship and camaraderie between you two. I think that that's like feels beneficial to me. We have the Pisces charm with the Pisces symbol up, so I don't know if he is a Pisces, but and then you also have the Scorpion, but the Scorpion is, I think, flipped over, right? I think this is its belly, not the top part. Yeah, this is its belly. So it's sort of flipped over. I don't know if one of you is a Pisces and one of you is a Scorpio. I don't know. This could also represent just a sort of the emotionality of the relationships, or if you've had a Pisces in your past. He wants to move in with you. That's kind of where maybe I feel like this might be a non-negotiable, like, or you need to be really clear on whether or not he's um like, I feel like this isn't about him, this is about you. Like, this is also, you have the single red die too, which says to me, again, similar to Laura's, or I think it was Nate's, it's about like you're focused on love, but like I think that there might be a part of you that isn't necessarily sure that you are ready to be in a relationship. Like, there's this idea that, like, yes, you want love, but there's also this single dice here, right? That says to me that, like, you're kind of maybe comfortable on your own in a way. We have the uh, this is the one of the Reiki stones. So to me, it's face down. I don't feel like this is like bad or good either way. I feel like I honestly want to say, like, this to me feels like this could be beneficial to you if you allowed it to be. It can be as beneficial to you as you want it to be. But it's really up to you how much you're willing to open up your heart again, how much you're willing to open up your home again, how much you're willing to sort of allow him to be in your space, and how open you're going to be to him, right? And I think that you might decide to do those things, but right now you're kind of in this period of, yes, you're in the game, but you're kind of guarded, is the way that I want to say it. It feels a little bit sort of uh, guarded on your part, and so going into something like this with your guard up might have the potential to make you worry or make you feel unsafe, and I think that that's not necessarily where you want to be, or good for you. I mean, does he have to move in with you for the relationship to progress, or can he like just be around you for a while? Because I feel like this is a little bit of nerves too, like around him moving in here. Like, this feels like there's like a real sort of set um uh I don't know, like I get this kind of idea, like, don't fuck with me in this department when I'm looking at this charm. Like this, there's like not a lot of room for change here just yet, right? I also feel like, and I'm not 100% sure, that it might just be because of this room, but I feel like this might be Mary. Because this doesn't feel like it's either you're going to become a lesbian in the future. It's one of two things, okay, Tammy? Either you're going to become a lesbian deep in the future, which I doubt that's going to happen, or this is Mary or some girlfriend of yours that's like far off that you might have to like talk to a little bit about this relationship, or that you confide in about this relationship. I feel like she's a ways away from you. Does that make sense? All right, Tammy, you'll be next. So I don't think that he's like good or bad for you. Again, I'm gonna say this. Um, Mary's gonna be your nanny. Is that what it is? I don't feel like it's good or bad. I just think that it's about whether or not you're willing to sort of put your heart back out there fully again, right? I feel like this broken piece of heart here says to me that, I mean, you are like playing the game, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, are you ready? Are you brave enough to like put it all out there on the table again? And I think that that might take some time for you, and that's okay. Like, I think that that's totally acceptable. Um, that's sort of this singular die. Yes, you're desirous of love, but um, I just think it might take you a little bit of time for you to get 100% on board with being vulnerable to somebody again. And so he needs to respect that. And I think that he probably will. But, you know, if he's in California and he's coming out to you, that doesn't necessarily mean he has to fucking move in with you. Like, he can, you know, relocate his life if you're that important to him. And if he's not really willing to relocate his life for you, and pay his own way for the first few months until you guys get used to being in each other's presence again, then he's probably not the right one anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say that because I don't think it's about him. This to me feels like it's about you. Mary gonna be my nanny. I mean, I think that like just because he's moving from California doesn't mean you have to take him in. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be, to me, like he should be able to move from California to where you are and have and want to have his own space and his own life while he tests you out too. Right? I mean, I know you all went to school together and you guys know each other and there's a relationship that is pre-existing there, but it doesn't necessarily hurt to have your guys' own spaces while you kind of assimilate to each other and re-familiarize yourself with each other's bodies. Do you need to take a screenshot of this? Oh, that's not working. I'm shaking the entire table. Sorry. Earthquake! I shouldn't kid about that. Becky's been having earthquakes. Can I just... You got it? Awesome. Alright, I gotta just show you guys one thing really quick because I just looked over and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Look at this Yahoo. Oh, wrong camera. Let me flip cameras really quick. Hold on, look at this Yahoo. Can you see how he's laying? Oh, he just shut his legs. He had his legs wide open. Can you guys see him? I didn't even open my Mountain Dew. I just want you all to know I didn't even open it. I'm being a good boy tonight. I'm not going to open it. No Mountain Dew for this queen. I made it through. I gotta go check those burn piles. I might have no. All right, so let's get to Tammy Chirasto. Yeah, it's a cool chair, isn't it? That's my meditation chair, Mary. That's where I sit and meditate. And that's why all the animals like to climb up it. I climb up there and sit in it. I think that because I spend so much time like just kind of like zoned out in it. And it's funny, when I meditate in it, they all come around. Like the dogs come and sit between my legs, and it's crazy. It's Sven. Finn's not here yet. Finley hasn't shown up yet. He'll be here soon enough. Did you know about Finn? Did I show you guys pictures of him? I know I showed one group pictures of him, but he's not here yet. This is Sven. Not Spen. We're not spending any money, Ducky. Who are you, Lisa Vanderhelm? What are you doing? Lisa, you should know that. Whenever Ducky misspells something, I say to her, "Who are you, Lisa Vanderhelm?" You would be macrame to the chair. It's got crosses on it, like silver crosses. I got it in Mexico. I actually, along with this chair, I got this chair in Mexico too. So, Tammy, what's your question? I need a question, Tammy. I love this water bottle. I hope I don't break it. I can't believe Karen sent me this. So sweet. It's actually going to get me to drink more water. Crystal energized water. Family? Okay. Alright, family. Alright, I'm going to turn these cameras around. No, I have another cat coming. The wrong name, it's not necessarily a wrong name. I have another cat coming named Finley. So Finn is not so off. The breeder named him Finley, but I'm probably going to call him Arthur. Arthur Finley, which is the mediumship school in England that I want to go to. His birthday, this cat's birthday, is on October 31st. He was born on Halloween. So I think he would make a great familiar. And he's a Maine Coon, which is a breed that I've always wanted. And I thought, since I have these other two strays fucking up my house, I might as well get a third cat and get the breed that I've always wanted in my entire life. So I saw this cat online, and his birthday is March 31st. I mean, not March 31st, October 31st. And so he was born on Halloween, which familiars, in witchcraft, your familiar is usually a cat, or you can have different familiars, but a lot of witches have cats for familiars. And what a perfect birthday for your familiar to have would be October 31st. Plus, Maine Coon is they're like small dogs, for Christ's sake. So that's why I love them. They have these huge paws, and they look like lions. So when you said Finn, you're not completely off. There is a cat out there coming to me on the 9th of January. I go to pick him up, and his name is Finley. And that's the other reason why I'm getting him, is because I'm trying to get my ass over to England to train for mediumship at Arthur Finley College. It's spelled Findlay, but the breeder named this cat Finley. So I was like, oh, that's so weird. The cat's name is Finley, and I'm trying to go to Arthur Finlay, and I want a Maine Coon. And so I think this cat is my familiar, and I'm a Pisces, and he's a Scorpio, this cat. So I think we're gonna vibe. It's gonna be I vibe with Sven too, but this cat's born on Halloween. Alright, so no, they're gorgeous, and I love how big their paws are. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna change camera angles. Okay, so for Tammy Carasso, family clues. So you have an R, an O, and a T. Oh, wait, your camera's not working. Hold on. Uh-oh, did it freeze on me? Okay. So you have an R, an O, and a T. I feel like stuff is scattered. I feel like everybody's going in a different direction when I look at this spread. When you're talking about family, I just sort of feel like... What is this? This is the wisdom charm, and it's face down and upside down. And the obedience or the dog charm is face down to me too. It feels like...
You have clear ideas of what you want in your family, right? You have very clear ideas and goals and the things that you want to see and aspire to within your family. I see that in this charm up here. It's in the higher mind. You've had these ideas and these desires for a long time. They're really sort of wonderful goals or wonderful dreams that you have for the members of your family. I kind of feel like I don't necessarily know if they have those same goals or dreams. And to me, everything feels sort of scattered around you, and it feels like maybe people aren't necessarily listening to you or acknowledging you in some way. It feels like everybody's off. When I look at these charms, they all feel like they're off doing their own thing and not really paying attention to you. And what happens here is if you're the sort of center or the glue or trying to be the glue, people aren't necessarily listening to you. They're not acknowledging you. And that's where I feel like this is where you start to give up your own wisdom or the availability to sort of have that wisdom. Does that make sense? Let me just look at this for a minute. What do we have here? I think that's Shiva. We have Vishnu. So we have the Father and the Son. We also have Jesus underneath the crab, but he's face down. I feel like I'm not so sure if there's a problem between the Father and the Son. If there is a Son involved. The Son was upside down. I feel like they're not communicating, or maybe they need to communicate. There's also the heart with the sort of knife through it too, which to me feels like this could be sort of like there's an argument between the two of them. They both need Jesus. Sort of how I feel, but I don't know if they're, especially maybe the father. Like, I'm not so sure if the father's a little bit of a bossy pants, your husband, Tammy, but it feels like he might be. I also feel like this is somebody that's maybe passed away that's male in your life that possibly you miss, similar to how Ducky had the mom symbol on hers. I feel like this might be, I don't know if you have a dad or somebody that is male that's passed away on your side of the family that you were maybe very close to, but I feel like this is sort of maybe representational of that person or the memory of that person. Like, you might reflect upon them or think about them quite a bit. I just feel like with this wisdom charm in the center, face down and upside down, it says to me that, like, again, I don't feel like people are necessarily respecting you or listening to you or what you have to say. You're still being obedient to them. That's the dog charm, I feel like. And they maybe are taking that for granted a little bit. This says, with an attitude of gratitude, your good can only increase, but it is face down. That's where I feel like I almost want to say this, like, when I look at this wisdom charm in the center and knowing that it's face down and upside down, what I want to say is it sort of feels to me like let them work out their own shit is what I want to say. Wait, what does it say? How much did that bottle cost? I want to buy one, just saying. Oh, I don't know. I got it as a gift. I don't know. We have sons, but no problems. No, he's not. I don't know. It just sort of feels like there's something going on here between these two charms. And the reason why is I just have to say this is Vishnu and this is Krishna. So this is father and son, for sure. The fact that they both showed up in this charming says to me that, like, there's something going on. And one is upside down, not listening to the other. And I feel like this one is sort of firmly planted in who he is and what he knows. So I'm not sure. That's why I said, is he a bossy pants, or maybe is he sort of unbending, kind of, my way or the highway? Because that's sort of how I would interpret this. Also, the fact that Jesus is underneath him says to me that he might need to come to Jesus moment a little bit. Or, and I say that only because Jesus is also face down. So it's like he's not necessarily listening to anybody else. To me, I almost feel like maybe not getting involved with other, you're saying mother-daughter. I don't necessarily know that this is mother-daughter. These are definitely men. And it just feels like to me, like, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it sort of feels like with this in the center and upside down, face down like that, it feels like nobody's listening to you. Like nobody's sort of taking in your wisdom or acknowledging sort of what you've got going on or what you're sort of inputting into the situation. Then I'm not sure if that's the only issue is mother-daughter. I don't necessarily see mother-daughter stuff in here. To be honest, I see a bunch of stuff going on around you and you trying to be in the center and trying to sort of have an opinion or help, and it's like people aren't necessarily allowing for you to help. It feels like everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And if there is sort of any sort of I don't know, it just sort of feels to me like you're not being heard or acknowledged on some level. Well, you're always in the center. That's weird. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I've done too many of these tonight. How old are the boys, Tammy? Hello? Is anybody there? Hello? Is the chat working or did the chat go down? Shit. Hello? 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 No, I see you, Mary. So the chat's working. I'm just waiting for Tammy to respond because she's saying that. No, it's not froze. It's working. I'm not exactly sure then because I'm not sure what's going on. But to me, this feels like I'm not being heard. Like I'm not being listened to. Yeah, it does say there's 7 people watching, and I think like Tammy commented, you commented, Kelly, Michaela, Angel. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ducky would be 6, and then I think Tammy would be the 7th person. Lisa Vanderhelm says, I 4110NOBYOURARETGERE Dan thinks she might have left. I'm like, what? I can't see it. Okay, wait. With my daughter, she's 24. All right, so I didn't see her say 39, 29, and 22 a few times. I don't know if you're seeing it. No, I didn't see it. I just see her now. She's saying, with my daughter, she's 24. I feel like there's some issue between... So these boys are older. They're not young boys, correct? And maybe that's why all of these people are older, and that's why none of them are really listening to you, because they're off in their own lives. But I feel like everybody's off doing their own thing, and they're not necessarily, I don't know, like, I feel like you're being a little bit negated in some way. That's what this is here. Yeah, I don't know what to say, Tammy, because I sort of feel like, I don't know, I'm really seeing this kind of one way, and I'm not seeing it any other way, so I'm not sure. Your daughter's not speaking to you? I don't see any feminine presence here. That's maybe why your daughter is not in the picture. If she's not speaking to you, I don't necessarily see her here. I sort of feel like when I look at this, it looks to me like, I don't know, I can't get away from this idea that not everybody's, just people are like not necessarily consulting you in general. That's this sort of wisdom charm upside down and face down. It's sort of like you're not even able to act. It's not that you're able to access it. It's just like nobody's taking it. Nobody's listening to it. Nobody's like, they're all doing their own thing, like around you. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it too. And I can't get off this thing where I feel like there's some sort of clash happening between these two. It may not be major. Maybe it's just a disagreement or a way of seeing things differently, but they're like almost looking in two opposite directions. They're not sort of communicating, and they're both sort of powerful, one is Vishnu and one is Krishna, right? So it's like they both have strong personalities, I feel like. And so if you even try to get in to sort of help them or situate the situation, it's like you can't. I feel like their personalities are almost too strong. Okay. And who is this? Is there a male that's passed away, or am I wrong about that too? Because I feel like this is a male that's passed away that maybe you miss or that you think about. Like your dad or something? I don't know if that's right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired and I'm not reading very well. Do you need a screenshot of this? I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight because it's almost 10 o'clock and I need to eat dinner. It has been a long night. I forgot to eat dinner because I was out in the yard burning leaves. I need to go check the burn piles too and make sure that they're completely out. You're welcome. You're welcome, you guys. Merry Christmas. That's my Christmas gift to all of you. I'm gonna go eat. Yeah, it is a late dinner. I know. I need to eat. I'm starving. Starving like Marvin. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys in the morning. For the forecast, and that's about it. All right, you guys. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Have a great, rest of your week. And I will see you all tomorrow. Okay? I'm going to sign off now because I'm hungry. All right, have a good night. Bye.